Well, good evening and welcome back again, Realty Pros. We are excited. Our Thursday evening agent training, 7 p.m. here in our Upper Marlboro location. We are hybrid, both online and in person. So we have your colleagues in person and we have you guys online. We have you up on a big monitor. So you're famous for the evening. Not sure if you guys can see your faces and everything up there, but your Realty Pro colleagues in the office, they can see you. So we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to, both speak, be heard, and to participate this evening. All of our trainings are interactive. So any questions that you have, you guys can go in turn asking your questions. And we're going to continue our conversation from last week. So as it pertains, well, first of all, let me ask the first question. What month's challenge, or what's the challenge for this month?
You said constant contact?
The challenge for this month, the monthly challenges.
Let me go see.
Speak louder.
Cold calling.
Yeah. Cold calling who and what?
Multi-million-dollar listing.
There you go. Did y'all hear Darlene?
Multi-million-dollar listing challenge. I wrote it down.
That's right. Cold calling, the multi-million-dollar listing challenge. And I can pull it up for you guys. I want to make sure that everybody has this information. So let me go to. So in the office meeting, Shay went over each one of the months and the various challenges that we have. So we want to. It's okay. Not a problem. So right here in your BrokerMint library, you're going to see your 2022 kickoff meeting, close 22 and 22 challenge, because we've given you guys a challenge, and each month is the breakdown of exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to get there. So this is right in your BrokerMint library. It's going to say your 2022 kickoff meeting, close 22 and 22 challenge. So I'm going to skip through a lot of this information from the meeting, and I'm going to go directly to the various months and the challenges for those months. So here we are. There it is. All right, so January, that was the text campaign and constant contact challenge. So Rhonda, you were on point because that's the one that we just came out of. And Darlene, you hit the nail on the head for February because it is the cold calling, the multi-million-dollar listing challenge. All right, so you guys have a cheat sheet. So you know what's coming down the pipeline for March throughout the rest of this year. So in case you want to go ahead and get a head start on it, you can get a head start on that. But currently we just come out of the text campaign and constant contact challenge, and we're going into now the cold calling multi-million-dollar listings. All right. So I want to make sure we don't miss any of your colleagues trying to get into the meeting. So give me if I have to let somebody else in. Yes. All right. Yes, sounds good. So remember, when you ladies are talking in here, if it's a contribution, say it loud so that they can hear you on here. Okay. Otherwise, you can come on up. All right, so I want to hear your experiences. So what responses have you guys gotten? Responses from your sphere of influence, sending you guys email addresses? How has it been for adding contacts to your book of business through this text message campaign? Great. Come on, Aurelia. I had to speak up. Come on.
For exercise really worked out well. I was able to enter all of the contacts that I got in the constant contact. I was able to enter their date of birth. I was able to also set up the automated email in the database. And then I sent the additional text. I sent my last one today, which was the one to say, by the way, here's my card, put me on the website. I mean, put me in your social media. And I had 2 young people. I was surprised. It was 2 young people that actually did that. They put me on, one put me on Instagram and one put me on Facebook. So that worked out really well.
Yeah. So you want to, does everybody remember the details that Aurelia is talking about from that text message campaign?
Well, it's still on the WhatsApp, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So yeah.
Can you go over the details?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the First thing, of course, once you got all of your listed contacts, was to put them in constant contact. And then once you got their email addresses and their birth dates, what I found is that I could click on the email addresses and but I had to enter each birth date. So I did that part of it. And then the next thing was to actually set up the campaign in constant contact for their birth dates. So I did that part of it. Actually had one person, a good friend of mine, her birthday was February the 1st. So I was able to call her because that's why my goal was to do that by the 31st, because I was able to call her to find out if she actually got the constant contact and then wish her a happy birthday, and she got it. So it does work. The automated thing is already sent. Once you put it in there, all of your contacts and everything, date of birth, everything goes right into constant contacts. I did it from my phone because when I spoke with Shea Porter, he said to put it in, do it from your phone, because it was much easier. It uploaded everything, including their phone numbers. I didn't realize it because you have to scroll all the way down to see that the birth date, because I ended up calling constant contact and they told me where to find it. And I had to scroll down and I saw that their birth dates were already in there, already loaded up. So my next thing was to go into the automated email and set that up. So I did set that campaign up, and it does work because the first person that got it February 1st was my girlfriend, and I did double check to see. So the next thing was, once I got that done, I believe, what was it? By the way, I said, now that I have your contacts, that was the next email message. I just want to let you know that I am a real estate agent. So now you're identifying yourself as an agent, because most of my contacts did not know that I was a real estate agent. I got an overwhelming response, prayer, everything saying, I wish you well. And I did I did it purposely on February 2nd, 2022. Because I was like, okay, here's the 2222. And I sent that campaign out on the February 2nd, 2022. And I had a little wording of whatever to say in there. This is a challenge for 2022. I want you to help me out with that challenge, and I'm looking for much success. And be 2 people left the same information that reporters actually put out. Then the next thing was, it was ironic because I was like, hey, man, I didn't send my card. So I'm scrolling through and saying, what is the next thing I need to do? And that's exactly what it was. Here's, by the way, so when you start meeting, please pass my card on and put it on social media. Here is the script that you can use to put it on there. And that's what I sent today, this morning. And that ended that challenge.
Excellent. Yes. Kudos. How does everybody feel about that? And I'm sure that you've all gotten your responses from your own campaigns. Excellent. Thank you. Aurelia, you broke it down step by step, girl. So listen, if you need help with any step in that process, Aurelia is going to be the go-to person, okay? Just so you know, Aurelia Douglas, you can find her information right in WhatsApp. So we want to make sure that you have multiple layers of insulation, and you're going to hear me say that all the time because we want to make sure you can get what you need when you need it. So that is good. All right. Who's next? Who wants to share their responses
I'll share.
from your text
So,
message campaign?
From my sphere,
Can you guys hear Darlene?
can you hear me? No.
Somebody unmute yourself and let me know if you can hear. Otherwise, come on up, Darlene.
Little. Yes, we can
A
hear.
little. Go ahead. Come on.
Okay, so from my sphere, I took was Angela's advice, wasn't it? Well, we did it and broke it up in groups, right? So I did my A and B, and I'm not going to say unfortunately, because actually it was pretty good. I got through A's, and then I was halfway through my B's, and then I got stopped because I started getting texts back. And so in that, I had like 2 buyers that I sent over to Mr. Cooper. And then when he talked to them, one of them needed more.
Hold on, don't rush past that. You got 2 buyers
Right.
just from getting through your A's and B's.
Right. In the A's.
You got 2 buyers.
Right. In the A's and B's. Right.
A's
Right, exactly. So with those two buyers, I then sent them to Mr. Cooper and to find out that, they needed a little bit more job.
Mhm.
So then I have a girlfriend who works for Freddie Mac. So I sent them to her. I actually, if they were hiring. Lo and behold, they were. So now what I have is these two buyers working with my girlfriend, get them a job, or better paying job or whatever. And so to me, I felt really good about that because not only am I going to help them eventually purchase, but they're going to get a new job. So, I mean, that was a blessing in itself. So, although I didn't do the mass email, I'm not email, I'm sorry.
Text.
What is it? It's just smaller.
Mhm. You're working your way through.
Yeah.
And that is, she's off to a great start. Got through A's and B's and got two buyers out of it. So continue to make your way on down to Z and you're gonna have 22. You'll have 22 right there and right in your contacts in your phone.
Wait, and that's why I told my girlfriend, I said, okay, I need 22 and 2022.
That's right. Excellent. Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's exciting. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Rhonda, have you gotten any feedback? Any new contacts? Any potential referrals, buyers?
Well, I actually have a buyer that I'm getting ready to sign, but it didn't come off of the campaign. But it doesn't matter how it comes. I have kind of stopped on the texting part because sometimes it get kind of overwhelming where when you're doing the first part of the text, people are responding. So it's like trying to keep track of who's responding to the first text and who's responding to the second text. Sometimes it kind of can get confusing. So I've kind of slowed down on the sending the initial text and I'm focusing on the ones that I've sent the first and second text to so I can kind of knock them totally out the way. And then I'm going back to the rest of them so that I can better be able to manage it.
She just said something that's so awesome, and I don't know if we realize it. We are getting an overwhelming response. That is
Yes.
wonderful. We are getting an overwhelming response to the text campaign. I want somebody to drop
Yeah.
that in the chat. For those of you that are online, somebody drop that in the chat. We are getting an overwhelming response to the text campaign. That is a big deal. It's a really big deal because for a number of our Realty pros, we've had to overcome the fear of lack of response. I'm going to send this out. Are people, how are they going to respond to it? But consistently across the board, I'm hearing that we're getting such an overwhelming response that we're having to break this down and section and segment our text messages so that you actually have the bandwidth to handle all the responses that you're getting. So this is a big deal, guys. That's a tremendous praise report. The fact that now you've created a good problem for yourself. You created a good problem, and those are the type of problems we want to have. So kudos.
Yes, indeed.
An overwhelming response. Yes, thank you for dropping that in the chat. We are getting an overwhelming response. Good, good, good. That is wonderful. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Any responses? Let's see. Talitha, you haven't shared just yet. I know, Paula, we just got you started today, but I'm going to have you to share the revelation that you got from our conversation today, Paula. And welcome. I think I see Miss Pat just joined us. Welcome, Miss Pat. And Kermon, if you've had any response, we don't want to leave anybody out. So I want to give you guys a chance to share if you'd like to share. Otherwise, I'm going to keep rolling. And when you're ready to unmute yourself and jump in, then you can do that, okay? All right. So before we close out this conversation around the text campaign, because we're going to go into the multi-million-dollar listing, because that's the month that we're in. But I want to make sure that everybody is comfortable with the assignment, right? Everybody understands the assignment, the text messages that we had, the sequence and order that we send them in. One of the things that I'd like to commend a number of your colleagues on is adapting the message to adapting the text to convey the exact same message, but personalizing it for themselves and their client base or their sphere of influence. I want to just go ahead and call out a couple people that I know that did it. Aurelia, I know you did it. I know Dee did it. I know a couple people just customized it. So the text in and of itself is very effective. It's going to work. If you feel more confident by customizing it, I want you guys to be at liberty to do so. But we want to make sure that the exact same message is conveyed. All right. And then another thing we learned too is with you guys sending out your business card with your text campaign, it's going to soften people's responses, because every now and again you're going to get somebody to say, my birthday, why do you want my birthday? You know what I mean? For the hundreds of responses that we got a few of them that say, why do you want my birthday? And they want to make sure it's you and it's not a scam. So when you send them a copy of your electronic business card, they see your face, they know exactly who you are. Okay, this is so-and-so, then they send it right back to you with no problem. So we want to anticipate that no matter what it is that we're doing, if a challenge comes up, we have a solution and you simply move forward with the solution, okay?
I do have one thing that I did run into, one problem I ran into with the agency app,
Okay,
the messages.
real quick. So here's our new platform. When we introduce a problem, we got to introduce a solution.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
Go ahead. Excellent. Go ahead.
So I entered the text in with I copied the whole thing,
Mhm.
with my card at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
But then when it started going into giving each person the text,
Mhm.
it didn't have my card in there.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, good. So what I did was went back to the message, said, I went back to my photos,
Mhm.
copied the card individually.
Mhm.
Wouldn't do it with the overall message in the card at the bottom. Tapped it in the photo, copied it individually, and each time it came up with the individual text, I had to paste the card.
Did you guys hear Aurelia? So just in case
No.
anybody, okay, so you gotta talk louder like you were doing that. They said for I can reiterate for you, no worries. So she said for A to Z contacts, when it was queued up to send out the message to all of her contacts, it wasn't sending her card, although she had put her card in the original message. So she simply copied her card from her contacts and pasted it so that every time she sent out a message, her contacts would know that it's from her. So
Yeah.
obstacle
So I pasted it at the
solution.
bottom, you know how
Mhm.
it shows the text message, and I just pasted at the bottom before it next
Okay.
on the agency.
That was a good solution. I think that, so kudos for finding a solution to the obstacle. I think that there's even more of one. I think on that A to Z, you can actually send an attachment. So you can have a text version, you can have a video component, and you can have an attachment for A to Z. So for the card, you can put the card in the actual attachment on there. Yep. So both of those work. All right. Did anybody have any other praise reports, whether it's an abundance of response to this text campaign, leads from the text campaign, buyers? Anybody have any other responses? All right, we're going to move on to the next segment. If anybody doesn't have anything else to share. So overall, your guys' feedback in terms of response that you've gotten from your text campaign. What's your feedback?
Mine, it was actually really good. I mean, I got more of a response than I thought I would. I would probably say 90% of the people responded back, giving me their information. So that's definitely a plus. And
That is tremendous. 90% of the people responded.
And I'm not even done yet sending
Drop
it,
that in
so.
the chat, Rhonda. Drop that in the chat. That is tremendous. Kermon, I hear you saying something. Was that Kermon? I heard somebody say something. That is tremendous. So I want to make sure that everybody sees this. We're sending out text messages. We are increasing our contacts. We're able to use those contacts to plug them into constant contact in order to build our book of business. For Rhonda, she said 90% of the people that she sent it to responded with their information. I'm pausing right there on purpose. This is a pause so we can think about it, right? Text messages are hugely effective. Text messages are hugely effective at connecting with people and prospecting in that way. So for this text message campaign that we're doing, We're doing it now because this is the beginning of the year. Remember when we talked last week, Dee went through the making it easy and breaking down the numbers where for the 100K in your earnings, you need to have 2,160 contacts. And the challenge that we had is, for me, I'm pushing all of us to amass that amount of contacts within this first, month or first quarter of the year. Because opportunities, there's an abundance of opportunities for prospecting, right? For everybody, somebody said maybe they had 200 contacts, some had 500 in their phone, many had 1,000 or more contacts in their phone. And if we're getting 1,000 people to respond with their email addresses, now you've just built your book of business by 1,000 people. That didn't take you 6 months to do, as is prescribed in the business plan. You did it with a text message. So I'm saying that purposefully because if it is overwhelming with the response, that's an excellent problem to have. Time block for a week, you know what I mean? Say, okay, well, I'm going to do like Darlene did, okay, A to B. Now I recommend you depending on how many A to B, because Darlene has a whole lot of contacts. You know how many contacts you can respond to in a day. Do the next group the next day so that you can respond to them with all of your follow-up contacts. But we are skillfully multiplying our contacts just with the resources that we have in our hand. Our sphere of influence in our cell phones is holding 22 closed transactions, just like that. Because imagine when you get to that final step in the campaign where the third to last, or the fourth to last, I could be saying in the wrong order, is where you're asking them to send you 2 contacts. Send me 2 people that you think could use my help this year. So if you have 500 contacts and they send you, 2 a piece, now you have 1,500 contacts in your phone. You know what I mean? And then if you're asking them to post you on their social media, if they have 500 people on social media or 5,000 people on social media, then you have just effectively maximized your exposure simply through the people that are a part of your immediate sphere of influence. So I want to make sure that we don't pass this point until we hit a home run and everybody sees it and the lights come on, because opportunity is abundant when it comes to our sphere of influence. I want to kind of probe you guys for a minute. I know we talked about it, but I want to make sure that nobody is left behind in terms of your sphere of influence. Throw out some groups of people that are included in your sphere of influence. Say it loud for y'all in the office. Say it louder. Say it louder.
Family, friends, church, work.
Yes. Aurelia said family, friends, church, social organizations, work. Yep. What about your children's school? What about your barber? What about the person that does your hair? What about the person that does your nail? What about the person in the grocery store that you always compliment? What about the person at the post office? What about attorneys? What about, any single person that we have met or have an opportunity to meet on an ongoing basis? Those are people that are immediately within our sphere of influence, right? Because on any given day, wherever that, Giant Food, Wegmans, Whole Foods, whatever grocery store you go to, whichever one is in your community, every single employee there and the customer shopping on the same day with you can immediately become a part of your sphere of influence, because you simply intentionally make a trip to these places, right? We're talking about text prospecting, and that's one element of it, right? But remember, we talked about layering things like in a symphony. You have a drum, then you have a piano, then you have all these different things. So you're layering your prospecting opportunities. So you're going to places with the intent of having an intentional conversation, paying a compliment, paying $5 for somebody's coffee or something to that effect, so that you can literally start a conversation about real estate and you can give them your real estate information. Now, the first part of that is having a conversation with them. But the most important part of that is what? To make that prospecting complete, what do you need to walk away with? And Darlene said, adding them to your book of business. Go ahead, Rhonda.
She said what I was going to say.
There you go. Adding them to your book of business. So your prospecting is complete once you have captured their information so that you can add them to your book of business. Okay. So let's talk about some strategies to capture information very, very easily when you're out prospecting. What are some of the strategies? And they're straightforward. There's no trick to it. I just want to make sure that everybody has them top of mind. I'm talking about everybody that you have the ability to meet. Yep. So first, let me start with this caveat that I dare say that for many of us, we know a whole lot more people than we actually have in our phone book, right? I dare say that you probably have the people in your phone book that you want to communicate with on a regular basis, but you probably know hundreds or maybe even thousands more people than that, right? So there is a tremendous opportunity to continue to add people to your contacts so that you can migrate those contacts into your CRM, into constant contact, thereby increasing your book of business, you know, by you're multiplying your book of business and doing that, okay? So I don't want to give away some of the answers. Can anybody tell me some of the opportunities that we have to collect people's information when we go out?
And she has my card, and actually I had a client today to pick up a case. And the person that referred her, and she referred her to me like years ago, I said, I just sent her a text and I thanked her for the referral. And I said, by the way, in case you don't know, I'm also a real estate. So I was thanking her and I sent her a card. So to me, I was thanking her for that referral, but then I was also asking her for, because I had seen her account.
So having a conversation is initial and absolutely to that. But collecting people's information, I'll just throw out some things right off top. Yep. So a quick and easy way to do it, especially in the midst of COVID, is each and every last one of us has a virtual copy of our business card, right? So your virtual copy of your business card, you should have that saved in an album or your photos section on your cell phone, a virtual copy of your business card. And one of the very strategic things to do is when you're meeting people and you have that conversation, you say, let me shoot you a copy of my business card really quickly. What's your email address? You get their email address on the spot, you shoot it to them, you get their name and their telephone number, bam, you got them in your phone as a contact, right? And it was in relationship to the conversation that you were having. So it wasn't, kind of, hey, how are you? What's your number? You know what I mean? You've had a conversation about real estate. You've piqued their interest, and then you're going to send them your virtual business card. Okay. How do you guys feel about that? Or what are your thoughts about it? Yep. So that's one way to do it, right? Another thing to do is to ask people for their business cards. Do you have a business card? Send me your business card. Either hand me your business card or send it to me. And when I tell you we have so many business cards that we've collected over the years, that is a great opportunity to collect information from people, because the name of the game is the number of contacts that you can amass. Rhonda, I see you have your hand raised.
And another way, and Shay Porter taught me this. He said, when you standing in the line or somewhere at a grocery store, you can airdrop.
That's right. You can airdrop your business card. You can airdrop it. You can go to a public space and do that. Grocery store, concert, any place that has a lot of people there. And that, airdrop may be an iPhone function. I believe Android has a sister to airdrop. I don't know what that is. So for our Android users. Yep. So what airdrop does is anybody who has a phone that has the airdrop function turned on, then when you airdrop it, it'll go to all of them. All of them will see it. And when they look at their phone, they have an opportunity to accept or decline, right? So they get your airdrop and now you've sent your information out to them. So that is a tremendous opportunity for prospecting as well. Kudos for, just saying that there, Ron. Okay. That being said, we want to make sure that we're following the second important step of collecting their information. And why am I talking about collecting people's information? And the hint or what I'm saying is right up on the board.
Build your
right
book
up
of
on the
business.
monitor. There you go. So can somebody go over this last, let's see, maybe the last 3 paragraphs. So that 12-to-1 ratio, that small paragraph, and then you guys, maybe one person take the first And then the second person can take the second and the third, because I want to make sure that all of this is connected to you guys and you see the purpose behind it. Rhonda, since you're unmuted, you can go ahead and take the 12-to-1 ratio.
Means for every 12 people you talk to, contacts basically, you'll get a lead. Therefore, to generate 180 leads, you'll need 2,160 contacts.
So do you see why we're talking about prospecting in your book of business? Do you see why we're talking about making calls, sending text messages, having conversations with people? Because if you already have 2,000 people in your phone, then you already have 180 leads, which means you already have 36 appointments. You already have 18 listings and you already have 14 transactions right in your phone, okay? So as it pertains to your contacts per hour, somebody take that last paragraph on the page and I'm gonna pull on Paula. Paula, take us in on that last paragraph.
At 8 to 12 contacts per hour, that equates to 1 to 1.5 hours of daily prospecting to achieve 100,000 in earnings this year.
So we've gone through that a number of times before, and you're gonna hear me keep going through it because I want to make sure that we all get it, right? What is it that jumps out to us about that? Is there anything that just jumps out about that last sentence?
The fact that we need to prospect.
Definitely the fact that we need to prospect. What else?
The $100,000 earning.
Yeah, that too. Say it louder, Realty.
Hour and a half really is not a lot of time.
Could you guys hear?
Yeah.
She said this really doesn't even take that long. For an hour to an hour and a half, you're talking about amassing that amount of contacts and that amount of income just from something so simple. Something so simple as that, okay? So that is why we're talking about multiplying our contacts, multiplying our leads from within our sphere of influence. That's why we're talking about growing our book of business directly from the pool of people that already know, like, and trust us, right? So the people that you meet on a regular basis, Darlene said the nail tech, the person who does her nails, that person needs to be receiving emails from you in constant contact. They need to be in your contact list and receiving those campaigns so that while you're asleep or while you're on vacation or wherever you are, your face is remaining before them and you are remaining relevant as the real estate professional that can help them, okay? I wanted to take us even further because we've been having this conversation about amassing this amount of contacts within this first quarter. I would say a month, you can do it in a month, you really can. But within this first quarter is absolutely doable for everybody. So last week, I want to say we said maybe 3,300 contacts or so is what we need for the 22 and 22. So let us think about how many people are available on Facebook. How many people you could actually see in order to ask for their contact information on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Can you guys imagine the thousands of people that we walk by? Going to the grocery store, going to the Starbucks, going to the gas station, going to get our hair done, nails done, barbershop, organization, school, church, work. Can you guys imagine all of the people that we're walking by every single day? And this is just in our day-to-day life. All right. Why am I saying that? NAR says that at any given time, 2% of the population needs to move. So if you walk past 100 people, 2 of those were buyers. Either one was a buyer and one was a seller. And if there was a seller, they were a seller and a buyer. So that's 3 transactions. So if you walk past 100 people, that's 2 to 3 sales right there. Okay, so just be aware of that when we're on our daily routines and we're out having conversations. Darlene, you have a question? Yes.
And one of the things that bothers me about these things right here is because normally when we're walking, you're smiling, but you can't see my smile on it, so I'm not inviting.
Now, you know what? I hear you, but I don't know about that because I heard someone say, and I've adopted this as a teacher. So one of my girlfriends, she's a teacher, and she says, we've been doing she said the same thing. She said, we're used to greeting the parents. And if you couldn't hear Darlene, she was saying that under the masks, you can't see us smiling. So it doesn't look as inviting. And one of my girlfriends who's a teacher, they've been dealing with the virtual distance learning and all that kind of stuff. And for her and her staff at her school, she said, well, you know what? We smile with our eyes. So people can't see your mouth, but a big part of your smile is in your eyes. So since she's been saying that, every time I have my mask on and I'm greeting somebody, I smile with my eyes, and they know that smile is communicated and they smile back with their eyes. So it is definitely, I'm happy to. Darlene wants to see the smile. Not to let I can see you smiling with your eyes. So if I'm like this, if I say hello, how are you? Can you guys tell that I'm smiling at you? Yeah, there you go. So you may
can tell, Jazz, but you always, that's you all the time. I don't think I've ever seen you outside of this.
Ronnie, you can smile with your eyes. Every last one.
No,
of us can smile.
I definitely agree with you. I
Mhm.
definitely agree with you. I'm just saying you're probably not a good subject matter in this because that's you.
Darlene, come on and show us how you smile with your eyes. Come on. Come on. Let's see if she can communicate her smile with her eyes. Come on. Okay. Can you tell I'm smiling? Oh, definitely. You can? Yeah. Okay. Can
All
you
right.
guys, everybody who's virtual, can you guys tell that Darlene is smiling? Go ahead and smile.
Let me get this hair out of the way.
Okay.
Wait, let me get my mask
Yes.
all the way right. Is it right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell I'm smiling?
Mhm,
Yeah, you can, 'cause
absolutely.
you see my cheeks right there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it is very warm and very inviting. Okay. That was a very important conversation to have because none of us wants to be wearing these masks, but we have to wear the masks. Exactly. But that, that warm welcome, that smile is what's going to make people, feel more comfortable with you. So now we all know that we can smile with our eyes, right?
Mhm.
All right. So that's what we're going to do when we're out and we're, greeting people. And it was so evident. You could absolutely smile with your eyes. There you go. Okay.
And Ms. Porter, okay.
Yes, Kermon.
No, I was going to say, since Mr. Porter's not on the call tonight, I'm going to do my Mr. Porter. Mr. Porter would walk up to you and he would probably say, I'm smiling under this mask, right? I just want you to know I'm smiling. I'm excited under this mask. You can't see it, but I'm smiling, okay?
That's
all
right.
So I just want to let you know that you could, for the guys, because, you got to give guys, especially when you're walking up to a lady, you got to be kind of careful now. You got to be careful as a guy walking up to a guy doing it. So you just got to be careful. But I know Mr. Porter, first thing he would say, he said, look, I'm under you, I'm smiling, I'm happy. How you doing? Are you smiling under your mask? So
there you go. Use the levity, guys. Use your personality. Use the humor. You know what I mean? People appreciate it and they feel a lot more, comfortable when they know you're a real human. You're a person. You know what I mean? It's business, but you need to be personable. So that's good. And Paula shared that the Android equivalent to iPhone AirDrop is Nearby Share. So for all of our Android users, thank you for that, Paula. It's called Nearby Share. Okay. Now that is a very good option. I want to make sure that when you utilize that option, you still collect contact information, because with that option, you're only able to share it, which is great. But you're active prospecting daily, you're going to be collecting information so as to, add to your book of business. All right. So let's just take this a step further, because last week we introduced the idea of Facebook once each of us has gotten through each one of the alphabets and our cell phone with our text campaign. Can anybody tell me what they recall about what we said about Facebook and how we can use that as a prospecting tool to increase our contacts, grow our book of business?
Send messages, send instant messengers.
Yes, break it down for me. What do we mean by send messages and instant messages?
Well, when you send your, you pretty much do it like you did the text campaign, and you send an instant message to everyone, all of your Facebook friends, and basically do it the same way we were doing the text messaging. And that's how you're building that, because once you kind of gather their information, because I'm Facebook friends with a lot of people. I don't have their personal info, like their birthday or email address. So once you get that, then of course you can do the campaigns, and then you're also asking them for 2 referrals.
Absolutely. So one thing I'll add to the Facebook campaign or the Facebook instant messages, what else do we need to ask them for? So we're asking for their email address, but I would probably put their telephone number above their date of birth. So the date of birth is important so they can be receiving multiple campaigns from you guys. You know what I mean? But you want to get their telephone numbers too, because you want to get their
Okay.
telephone number to add them to your contacts, and then you simply upload them right into Constant Contact. Okay?
They actually do this.
Very easily, instant messenger. So,
It's like a text. I got
yep, it comes directly to you like a text message, like Darlene said, yep. So let's take it a step further. Okay, we've gotten through all the contacts in our phone. We've multiplied those because we've asked them for referrals. We got all of their email addresses. So we've grown our book of business probably fourfold from where it is now. Now we're leveraging and going onto Facebook, getting contact information from people there. What else can we do on Facebook to continue to grow our reach and grow our sphere of influence?
Add more, start friending people.
Add more, so all of that, yes. So add more friends, start friending people. You can boost your post and all of those things, okay? So one of the things that I want to challenge all of us that are here tonight to do is on your Facebook page, that text, and I can drop it back into the WhatsApp group chat that says that you have taken the Close 22 and 2022 challenge for your brokerage and you need their support to help you crush that challenge. I'm going to post that again in our WhatsApp group chat. And what I want you guys to do is go ahead and post that on your Facebook business page and boost that post. Okay? Paste that on your all of your social media channels, and you can boost that post. I thought I would be able to grab it quickly for you. I'll be grabbing it later, or somebody else can go in there for us and just drop it back in for the group. Would you do that for us, Darlene, please? Thank you. But put that right on your Facebook page. Put it on your Facebook page and boost it, okay? And I promise you, you guys are going to have people that are going to be commenting and engaging just like that. And simply hashtag Close 22 in 2022 challenge. Hashtag Close 22 in 2022 challenge. So for all of our Realty pros, that's what we want you guys to do. We want you to go ahead and start, trending that Close 22 in 2022 challenge, so that when people see it, we've been so conditioned to kind of jump into all these challenges. It is something that conveys across, various lines. You see a new challenge. You saw people posting a challenge of yourself from 10 years ago. Post a picture of your kids challenge. Post your pet challenge and all these different things. You see the good challenges and you see the not so good ones that you scroll past really quickly. But that being said, because we've been conditioned in this virtual space that we're in, a lot of people are more prone to pay attention when you say it's some type of challenge. They say, oh, this is a challenge. I'll give an example. Shay, last year, he was in this challenge for his fraternity, his organization, Omega Psi Phi, and they had to sell popcorn to raise scholarship money, right? They had to sell the popcorn to raise the scholarship money. Yes, reshare, yep. They had to do that for this challenge that they had to raise scholarship money for Omega Psi Phi at Bowie State, right? So when he put the challenge out there, he started sending it to everybody in my phone, sending it to everybody in his phone, posting it on social media. And listen, he won first place. He won first place. His goal was to sell $1,000 worth of the scholarship or $1,000 worth of the popcorn so as to contribute to the scholarship fund. But he ended up doing over $3,000 worth of popcorn. So when you put it out there and you put that type of energy and drive behind it, people will catch on. You want to make sure that the energy is there from you and the commitment to the challenge, because people will see that and they'll say, I want to help her mom to win that challenge. Talita, I like her. Let me send, hey, I'm talking to my girlfriend, my friend, she's in this challenge for her broker. She has to close 22 in 2022. Didn't you say that your son was looking to buy a house this year? People will do that because people are happy to help you grow your business, because then they have something to say. Oh, I remember when she just began. I'm so proud to see how far she's come. It gives people a sense of ownership and a sense of pride, like they were a part of growing something and, doing something good. So allow people to have their space in your success. So post that, okay? Does anybody have any questions about that? All right. So we talked about the text message challenge. We talked about taking it on over to Facebook. Now I want to go into constant contact before we start on the multi-million-dollar listing challenge. I want to make sure that everybody is comfortable. Go to your dashboard right here. Go to constant contact. I want to make sure that you guys are comfortable with your campaigns because of course you're building your book of business. Your book of business is in your constant contact. I'm glad this happened. Everybody sees that it's asking me for a code. I'm going to click send code and it's going to send the code directly to Mr. Porter and myself. I'm going to enter this code that is only good for 5 minutes. And I'm going to click verify. Okay. And just like that, I'm into constant contact. So I'm glad that we all saw that because I want you guys to see how simple that process is. If it asks you for a code, you want to send a supporter and or myself a text message, say, hey, you know, constant contact is asking me for a code. We'll shoot it right on over to you. Just click that button to say send code. Okay. So now it's opening up. So in constant contact, this gives you a real life view of what your contacts are engaged with. You get to look at each one of your campaigns. You know the number, your open rate, if people are opening those, you can actually click each campaign to see what the success of that campaign was like. So kudos to all of our Realty pros who are in here who have these campaigns set up. I see that you guys are doing what we're saying, and this is great for actively engaging your book of business. All right, so let's see. We're going to copy one of these. All right, I see you still spinning. So there are hundreds of campaigns in constant contact. And for each one of our agents, you want to have a minimum of 2 going out at any given time, right? The first one you need to have is all of your holidays for the year, because that's the one that's going to go out while you're sleeping and you're just greeting people and sending them holiday messages. But then in addition to that, you need to have relevant real estate related information that's going to be going out to people. So every 2 weeks, they're receiving something from you. So one period in one of the two, the first of the 2 week period, they can receive some relevant real estate related information. Then second, they can receive your newsletter for the month, right? So a minimum of 36 contacts is what you need to touch each person in your book of business on an ongoing basis, okay? So that's 36 contacts. So this name, buyer's edge, and a seller's market. I'm gonna put for training. All right, so you guys see how easy that was. I literally just copied this campaign. Now I want you to pay attention when you do this because Talita created this. So all of the information in here is going to say Talita Bynum. So now I need to go and I need to actually update this so that all of my buyers know that this is not coming from Talita Bynum. We're going to put this first person to say their name goes in here. First person that says their name is going to go in. Okay.
Rhonda Black.
Darlene beat you to it, Ron.
And look, I had to unmute.
You had to unmute yourself. There you go. Okay. So as you guys can see, you're going to customize this to yourself. All right. So this is going to be coming from Darlene and replies will go to Darlene. All right. So I'm going to save this portion of it. And remember, once you've done that, that's good for the information up top. But now you need to come down and upload your actual photo in there. Darlene, is your photo in the library? All right, let's replace the photo. And I don't need to walk through everything here, but I want to make sure that you guys are comfortable with this. So let's go to the photo library. And let's go to pictures down here, and all of our Realty pros should have your photos right here. Photo is, you have it named as your name, so I can scroll right through and pick it up. Okay. It's not, but it's right there. There you go.
See that number?
That is a nice photo. There you go.
If it's a number.
All right, so you guys see how to update it there. So you can copy any one of these campaigns. Darlene, you get a freebie because we're using yours as an example for training, so everybody's comfortable with it. What's your cell phone number?
703.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about this?
I just have a comment.
Mm-hmm.
Noticed that because it's hard to find my photo,
Mm-hmm.
the number, if it's not labeled, the number that's associated with your photo, if you take that number down, all you have to do in the search is start typing that number.
So Aurelia said, if you haven't named your photo in the library and there's a number associated with it, all you've got to do is take that number down. You take that number down so that when you want to add it to one of your campaigns, then now you have that number to search. All right, so here's a campaign. If we want to save it, if we want to check it and preview, I'm going to go ahead and save this for Darlene for now. Actually, hold on, let's continue for just a second because I want to show you guys something, how easy this is. I literally just created or I copied this. The good thing is you guys can go right into Constant Contact and either copy a campaign that's in there or customize a campaign that's in there. And chances are you're going to want to customize for all of your holidays, you're going to copy, but then for your real estate related information, you're going to pull information from other campaigns as portions of the campaign that you want to establish. Some of them you may use it as it is, but some of it you may want to develop. So you know your market, you know your target market, your audience, and all of the information that you want to convey. So it's simple either way. All right. So you see what I've done? I'm applying that campaign to Darlene's list. And then we're going to schedule it. I'm going to schedule this so she has 1 week to go back in there and make any edits or changes that she wants to make. And then on that day, we're going to have it set to go out at 6 a.m. Okay. So this is set for Darlene Bridges. And we're going to schedule it. Done. Right? I'm done. So my book of business, her 194 contacts, they're going to receive that email from her. So it's going to go out and now that's one of her 36 touches. All right. So you guys, we can backwards map, look at the number of holidays in the year, look at the number of months in the year. So you have all the holidays and you have a newsletter for every month, and then backwards map to see how many more, pieces to your campaign you want to add to it. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah.
All right, Aurelia.
I just want to know, how do you, can you pull information from like PDR,
Yes, you can.
rates or mortgage rates, that kind of stuff? Can you just put that information?
You absolutely can. And Aurelia asked a very important question. She asked if you can pull information from anywhere. And the answer to that is absolutely. So your campaigns, when I talk about your pre-built campaigns, that's for your convenience. But you guys have the liberty to build any campaign that you want using any information, any images, and all of that stuff so that you can customize it. What is happening here? The audio. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So that was a campaign that we copied. Well, let's say we want to create a campaign. You see this button on the right-hand side that says create?
Mm-hmm.
I can create and I can tell it whether I want to do an email, an automation, a social post, an ad, an event, survey page. All of this is available right from Constant Contact. A landing page, websites and stores. So all of this is available to you directly from Constant Contact. So for you guys with your open houses that you're doing, especially at the builders, you're going to come in here and create an event. And you're going to invite everybody in your Constant Contact to your open houses and events that you're doing. Yes, Aurelia, you have another question?
No.
I have a question too.
So, Darlene, that since we're doing the open house, doing the Valentine's Day.
Come on up. Can you guys hear Aurelia?
Yeah.
No.
Since we're
Come
doing
on
the
up.
open house, doing the Valentine's.
Mhm.
Can you?
They can't hear you. I can.
Since we're doing the open house, doing the Valentine's Day time frame, it's gonna be on the 12th and the 13th, the weekend of.
what I did with Constant Contact, and it's in there, is actually pulled Eventbrite in the Constant Contact, and it actually shows. Have to do is click on there, and it goes right into Eventbrite.
Can you do an example of that?
It's, if you pull up, and I can, if you go back. And scroll down to. And you're gonna see the Valentine's Day one, and I explain the, here.
So essentially, there are multiple integrations for Constant Contact, and one is with Eventbrite. So if you guys are hosting events, you can connect it right from here. Yep.
Click inside there.
Here's the campaign that Aurelia's talking about that she created. Let's open it up so that we can see exactly what she's talking about, because there's so many things that you can do with this tool. All right, so the email link. Yep.
Go down.
Nice.
See all my social media information, and right there it says new construction open house ticket. If you click there, it'll go right into Eventbrite, and it's showing both events, and you can register.
Wonderful, guys. Do you see this? Wonderful. And all of this is directly from Constant Contact. Okay, excellent. I think I'm missing one thing here, Aurelia. I need to see your name in bold. I don't see your name in bold. That's the only thing that I would add to that. So I would put,
That first name. That
so,
copy and paste most of what you see there. Add my website right underneath of
Mhm.
porterhouses.
it looks, so it looks perfect. What I would do is I would put your name above all the other text. You might want to say contact Aurelia Douglas and put your name up there. Yep.
Okay.
I will go in there and do that. So they know exactly who you are, who's inviting them. They know your name.
Okay.
So you guys see this? This is great information. Yes, Darlene?
While we're here,
Mm-hmm.
I desperately need, like say, I copied the email and
Uh-huh.
put it in, creating, how can I drop it into? And,
Yeah.
cause I've been sitting on there and then I know, I got the copy part down, I want to
Create a whole new thing.
So a whole new email.
like, yeah, like where I'll go to create and I'll go on here to
Okay.
create.
So we're gonna go to create. Now, which one, an email or the automation? The automation is gonna go out in sequence. The email is just the one and done.
Does it, yeah.
Okay, so we'll do an email.
Yeah,
You create your email, go to create.
right, and then when I get that.
It's gonna open up. Does anybody have any questions or any type of feedback or anything as we're moving forward?
I went to the layout template.
All right, so these are the options you have, right? You can start from scratch. You can use, okay, you can import a PDF into the email. You can start from scratch. You can do a custom code. You can use an admin calendar, admin card, newsletter. So there are a lot of different templates that you can use. So although you're creating it from scratch, they're going to give you a wealth of options should you choose to click on any one of these to have your email. Okay. So all of these are the options here.
What I'm talking about is what I copied
Mm-hmm.
an email,
Mm-hmm.
it into the blank, I guess a blank one.
If I understand what you mean, you copied an email. Show me what you're talking about, because I'm not 100% sure I understand.
Okay. So I have a news thing. So go to keep it current.
Come on up so that they can understand. Mhm. So if it's something that you want to drop as a PDF in there, then you would download what your PDF is and you would include it. There are a couple ways you can do it. You can add it as a link or a button inside of your campaign, or you can drop the PDF in there. Okay. Okay, you're talking about something outside of constant contact.
Yes.
That's why I didn't understand. Okay. All right, let's figure this out because I'm not familiar with this platform. Okay, so let us do this. Let's take some time and go through this because I'm not familiar with this particular platform, so I wouldn't be able to flow through it as quickly.
Okay.
But in constant contact, what we can do is if you want to create anything in here, you can start from scratch, or you can import a PDF into the email. You see right here, say by chance you had something in keeping current matters, and you might say, well, I have a buyer, it's in PDF.
It's like a newsletter.
Is the new, what format is the newsletter in? It may, so some of those platforms, it may have an HTML so that you can use the HTML and drop it in there, or a PDF and drop it in there. We'll have to go through it, but I don't want to,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. I don't want to be working through it without knowing what to do and, kind of fumbling around on the spot. Let's work on that
Like, say this
at a
is the
different
one,
time.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I click here.
You can just save that as a PDF. Just save it as a PDF and then you can add it right to your constant contact. You should be able to copy or print if you want to print or save. I'm sorry, I'm helping Darlene with this. She's asking from another website if she can save something so as to include in the constant contact. So go directly to save to, let's see, you can save it to favorites, you can save it. If I were you, I would open it up on the computer and go like you're gonna go to print and simply save PDF. Because from your device, you can save any of those as a PDF file. And once you have it saved as a PDF, as you can see, when you come into here to create your email, you see the option right there. You would click on this one if you want to import a PDF. Okay. That's how you do it. All right. But as you guys can see, I'm going to move on from this for a moment because I want us to get into the resources that we have for our multi-million-dollar listings. But I did want to make sure that everybody understood how to complete the step in the process where we were adding people into constant contact email list and then creating those campaigns so that they're going out and nurturing our book of business. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or any comments or anything there?
Jasmine, I have a quick question. This is Angela.
Hello, Angela.
Hey, they mentioned creating an event in constant contact and it takes you to Eventbrite. Just kind of curious because I haven't really done anything with Eventbrite.
Aurelia, you can come on up because that's what you did.
As far as like the feedback and the people, I guess, does it give you a chance to RSVP for the event or register for it? I noticed I saw tickets there, but for someone who has used it, on this platform, what type of reporting or updates do you get when people register for this event?
Come on, Aurelia. So what I can say is on the platform itself, you can look at reports. You will know exactly who opened your email and who's engaged with the content that you're sending out. You can see exactly the person's name, their email address, and when they were engaged with your content as it pertains to its integration with Eventbrite. Aurelia, I'll let you share.
Okay.
Yeah, and can you piggyback on what Jasmine said? So it's basically whoever, because I know multiple people use this platform. So if you set up this event, where would you find the reports, or would it be sent to your email if you are familiar with how it works?
Actually, when you set up the event, there is a place in Eventbrite that you can go to see what the activity in Eventbrite is. So you can see how many people registered and who's actually visited the site for Eventbrite. I mean, once they register, because you could really, I don't think they give you a indication as to who visited because they're really supposed to go on there and register. There's a URL that it gives you, and that's the link that I actually attached into Constant Contact. Constant Contact is just one way to reach your contact, your personal contacts as far as the Eventbrite. But what you really want to do is you want to kind of use the social media Facebook page, whether you create a flyer and then have the URL that they can actually click into. And that's another way to advertise the event. But you want to try to use your social media to advertise as many different ways that you can, that they can go to Eventbrite and actually register. So this is just
Right.
one way through Constant Contact. But as far as
Sure. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
as far as keeping up with what activities you're getting, you do that through Eventbrite.
So do you have to have a separate Eventbrite account, or is it linked to
Yeah,
this?
yes, and it's very easy to set up. So if you
Yeah.
kind of starting out at the beginning, they don't charge you anything. You just go in and say, I want to, set up a new event. And if you're a new user, you're gonna have to do your username and your password. And then once you set up everything, then you can start scheduling your event. You can get as fancy as if you schedule an event and you want to charge for an event, they charge you a percentage. So they go over the percentage of what they're going to charge you for that particular event.
Thank you. That's very helpful. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
so it's free. As long as you're doing free things, it allows you to set up an account and you can go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Aurelia. Aurelia said something important that I want to piggyback on in Constant Contact. I'm not sure if you guys saw when we were in the campaign, but your social media handles are there. So you want to make sure that when you click on your Constant Contact, in order to copy the campaigns, you're updating the information for your social media. Let's see what's happening here. Where are we? So I'm just scheduled.
Oh, yeah, I hear. That was.
Mhm. Yes. Yep, you're going to update your social media. All right. So that being said, let me try to start broadcasting from my phone so that you guys can see in HomeSnap. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Is there anybody who's had experience with HomeSnap?
A new, but that was. That's from when
Okay. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right.
We're off of mute and the camera's off. Okay, so, wait, on the home snap. So basically what she said is that she went on to the map. Can you see it? See it? Right, you're gonna go onto the map and you're gonna tap in. She tapped in Potomac, Maryland. Somebody go with her. Yeah. She tapped in Potomac, shoot, Potomac, Maryland. And then the list came up for these multi-million-dollar homes. And then she clicked on it. And then the name comes up, Powers. Okay, this isn't one that where you can add. Try another one. Here. Okay, so one of the things is if when you click on the name, if you don't see that arrow on the side, it doesn't allow you to add it to your contacts. But if there's an arrow, like this one has an arrow, I'm clicking on that arrow. And there is the buyer's or the seller's, the owner's information. And then what you do is you're gonna add to address book. Click where it adds to your address book in your phone. Now this is for iPhone, but I'm not sure how it would be for Android. And then you're gonna click done. Well, no, you're gonna put, I forgot what she had down on there, but I'm just gonna put here $1 million listing. And I'm gonna just do the acronym MD. And then you're gonna hit done. And then the reason why this is important is saved is because Remind is actually gonna be taken off. They're not gonna be using this anymore. So what they want us to do is they want us to go through HomeSnap to get all these $1 million listings and add them to your contacts, because in a minute you won't be able to see it. Yeah, so that's what, and she said, they're actually, because a lot of people aren't using it. So they're taking that, right. So this is what she was, this was gonna be the last part of it.
Can you repeat what you said, how to do that again?
Okay, cool. So you're going to go into your map. Well, your map, okay, you see that? Like when you open, that's your map. Right, so you're gonna click Potomac, Maryland, because you know it's a lot of.
How do you get to the screen with that map on it? I don't see that on mine. Is there a certain icon?
Yeah, go down to the bubble where it says homes at the bottom.
Yes.
You see that?
Yep. Okay.
Right, and I hit list, hit the list. Down, the right here. See here? Say list.
Where does it say list?
Okay, when you, it's gonna be right here on the side. Your right here on the side, the very bottom, you'll see list. You see it?
I have to scroll down to that?
No, it should be right on the side. See
Yeah,
here?
because I don't see it either.
Okay, here, right here. See, like you see right here where it says, wait, right down at the bottom. You see where it says list?
That's what mine looks like.
You see right here?
Yours-
No, because now what you need to do, wait. You see here?
Mine doesn't look like that. I don't have that.
Let me see what you
neither
got.
do I.
Let me see what you got, Rhonda. Come closer. Come closer. Okay. So what you need, okay, you do have it at the bottom, very bottom, those little lines at the bottom. Rhonda, I'm talking to you, at the very, very bottom, the circle with the lines.
Okay, yep, you know what, I see it. Okay.
Yes. Angela, look at
Okay, so now it looks like this.
Let me see. Right, so now
So when I hit list,
right, it wants you to hone in on a specific area.
So I have to put an address in?
No, just put like here she has Potomac, Maryland. You see she has Potomac, Maryland.
That's what I didn't do.
Okay, and then now you just scan out whatever direction those little blue circles are telling you to go in a direction.
Oh.
You see?
Okay.
And so you just scan out like this, look,
Mhm.
like out that way.
I can't see your phone.
You scan it out like this. Because when you go
Okay.
this way, it's gonna get the blue dots. When you open it like this, you see I'm going out.
It narrows
Like
in.
that.
And keep going, right? And
Okay.
there you go. You see? And then when you see those
Gotcha.
yeah. You see it, Angela?
Got
yet?
it.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah, and then so when you click on those those $1 million listings, so after you do that, you hit list, and then like this one here says 24 years owned, and I'm gonna click on it. Oh no, I'm yeah, right here I'm clicking.
Are we under all homes at the top?
Yeah, you
Okay.
good. And then when you click, like I'm clicking on that one, it's 1.2 million. And oh, here it is. So this one is Howard Milchenberg. It has an arrow by his name. I'm clicking on that arrow. Oh, but it does say do not call, but it don't say that you can't email. And then
Okay, so I feel like I
what?
missed the part. So when I see all these homes, then I mean I'm seeing sold. So am I just scrolling until I see one that's available, or what am I doing?
What you want to do is you want to look for ownership. Okay, here, let me go over here.
Are we just selecting one of those properties?
Okay, go to sorts. And
Sort.
And make sure all your, first of all, do you have the ProSnap Plus?
No.
Then you're not gonna see it. If you don't have ProSnap Plus, you're not gonna see it.
Okay.
If you have if you don't have ProSnap Plus, you're not gonna see it. Because that's an added benefit of ProSnap Plus. So if you don't have it, I have it, I'll look, whatever I download to my address book, I'll send it. So if you don't have ProSnap Plus, you won't see it. So does somebody not have ProSnap Plus?
I don't.
Okay, where's my phone over there? Oh, here's my phone. But yeah, you need, if you have HomeSnap Plus is what you need that to get it. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, so you need HomeSnap. You have to have HomeSnap Plus.
So HomeSnap Plus will allow us to select on these properties and we get more information so that we can contact
Absolutely.
these.
Yeah, and I think they call it a hot sheet. Right.
Options that they have, so you can choose the property.
Right, but they can't get that if they don't have Pro Plus.
Yeah.
But we went through how to add them to the address book and those little, those little blue circles, how you have to.
I have ProSnap Plus, but I am so totally lost.
Let me see your phone, Paula. Yeah, let's see your phone.
Okay. Can you see my phone?
Come up some more. Okay, so are you on homes? Because at the bottom, you're gonna have the news, messages, homes,
Okay.
pro agent, and then it's me. So you need to click on homes.
Okay.
All right, and once you click on homes, go to like the Port Potomac, Maryland, in your search at the top.
Okay. Okay.
And then let me see what you got. Right. And so click on that first home.
Okay.
Do you see the owner information? And remember, if the owner information doesn't have that little drop down arrow by the name, you won't be able to add.
See, property history.
What I mean by drop down arrow, I don't know if you can see it, but you see that little arrow right there? Oh, wait, it's over there. You see the arrow over there? This is weird hand-eye coordination.
No, I can't.
No,
Let's
it's an
see.
arrow next to the name. If you don't see the arrow, it's because it doesn't have one. Let me see
Okay.
let me see your screen. Right. You see all related people? It's gonna be where it says current ownership, just below the property history.
Action, sales speed, property history. Okay, I see summary, mortgage, tax, agent.
That's down at the bottom. Start at the top.
Maybe-
Start at the top and you'll see likelihood to list.
Okay, so right under the picture, there's agent actions, there's sales speed, CMA, property history,
And just below property history, what do you see?
the amount, and it's 850,000. It says
And then, but
two,
below that, the next section,
summary,
do you see
mortgage tax.
you see current ownership?
Let's see, borrower, lender, loan type, long term. I see borrower, so I guess
Okay.
that's a.
Try the next one.
Okay.
Because what you're looking for is ownership.
Gives me the improvements. And the summary doesn't tell me.
Let me see your screen again, Angela. I mean, Paula.
Because most of them are gonna have the
Right, so that one may not have the owner's information, and if you don't see it, just move on to the next one.
Okay,
So go out of that one and choose another.
okay. Let's see.
Going back.
Mortgage. Yeah, so if I go to, this one has a little bit more. It tells you the deed and the buyer and the seller, the title company.
Right, but you see the owner, correct?
Yeah,
And then so with that, can you add it to your address book?
let's see.
You should be able to add it to your address book. She has an Android, that's why it looks. It's a lot different. It's
It's very, very different.
It is, because I was looking at your screen. It's totally different.
Yeah.
How did you have it listed for the all the ones you did? Wow.
I did,
Right. These are all the listings that Jazz got, Miss Porter got by doing in like 2 hours. Ooh, I clicked on it. You see that? All of that, look. And so what she put it under was owner MMDL Potomac.
Did you do for sale or all homes?
All
this-
homes, right? All homes.
Okay. Now it gives me that whole map. That's what I was doing. I did for sale, so now I have this whole map here.
Right.
specifically off market.
She said not for sale, you want the one that specifically are off market. You want the ones
Okay.
off market. And you see those little circles are telling you to open. Like that. So you're going like this on your screen to open it up.
Okay.
Open. Yeah, like that.
If it would freaking open. Doesn't want to open. It's telling me to open, but it's not doing anything. What the heck?
Maybe rub your finger.
I'm trying to do everything. I was just tap a cluster to zoom in, and that's all it's asking let me do. Let's, okay. I have to tap
The
the,
iPhone and then everything else.
yeah.
Let me see.
I have to type the circle. Wait, my kids, oh shoot, my kid is off work. I gotta go get her.
So right there, I don't know if can you hit list right there?
Yeah. But then it doesn't give me a list.
And it's telling you to go through the,
Now I get okay, now I get a list.
okay. And you want the ones that are not active, right? You want the ones that are.
Okay, so
that are
here's
not
one
on
that
the
says off market. And if I scroll down, let's see, recent, it's giving me history. And it's giving me current ownership.
Current on, yep,
Okay, all right, I was gonna get that. I'm late. I gotta go pick up my kid. She's waiting for me.
We're gonna close out the way.
So, for walking us through that. Awesome job to Darlene for walking us through that on HomeSnap. I wanted you guys to see the information that we have accessible to us. Of course, we have HomeSnap, we have Remind, we have various places where we have sellers' contact information. Most of those are going to have the seller's email addresses and telephone numbers. What you'll notice in those telephone numbers, and some are do not call and some are not do not call. If they're not on the do not call list, you can absolutely give them a call. If they are on the do not call list, you can absolutely use their email address so as to include them in your campaign. Because we were talking about amassing a certain number of contacts and multiplying the people in our book of business. And just yesterday for 2 hours, I got about 150 new people that I'm going to add to Constant Contact so as to include or to increase that book of business. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and stop right there for the night. What is it?
That we can, I guess those $1 million listings,
Mhm.
that's part of taking off. That one is.
So this one is on HomeSnap.
Also, it's gonna be off of HomeSnap.
No, so we're on HomeSnap, and HomeSnap is a part of Bright MLS. Remind, I think there's some updates coming to that platform, but these are two different platforms. It's okay. But we have multiple sources to gather information from, and this is information that's at our disposal that we're already paying for through Bright MLS, so I didn't have to pay a penny for that information. And I got over 100 emails, around 150 emails and telephone numbers, okay? So we are gonna stop right there for the night because we're at 8:40 and we wanna honor your guys' time. And for those that are here in the office, we wanna let them go ahead and make their way home. We will pick up same time, same place next Thursday. Does anybody have any last minute words or comments or anything? Key takeaways for the evening before we close down? Rhonda, I see you saying yes.
Basically, I wrote down all of the different avenues that we can take. So, you know, if we do this, we definitely should get bites.
There you go. That's a great takeaway. Anybody else? Miss Pat, you have something to say? Hello,
Yeah,
Miss Pat.
Hello, sweetie. Hello, everybody. This has been so educational. I've gotten so many good tips, and I'm learning so much about all these different things. So I'm like Rhonda. I've just been taking notes and saying, "Ooh, check this out, check this out." And learning more about how to use what I already have, but also other things as well. This HomeSnap Pro looks good. I like
Yes.
this. So,
There is an
yeah.
abundance of information on there that is readily available to you, and it's provided to us through Bright MLS through our subscription.
Yes, yes.
All right, guys. We'll have a phenomenal
Thank you
rest of the
for this.
evening. If you guys need anything, give me a shout. All right, guys.
Have a good evening,
Hey,
and everyone
Angela,
drive
have a good
safely.
evening.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, guys. Have a good night.